Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's pre-market analysis. This is a data of last Friday. We will have a quick look at what all trade opportunities we got on that particular day. So here you can see that on 21st, it opened below our pivot line, which is green here you can see. So we planned that it opened here, so anywhere near to our pivot line, if it get rejected, we can take a trade to our S fund support. So here, if you see here that it properly rejected back, and that too twice from this pivot line point, and it almost reached below yesterday's previous low as well. So here you can clearly see that. So yesterday, not yesterday, on Friday, it was clearly on the bearish side market. So we had a great opportunity on the bear side yesterday with respect to with considering our pivot line. So for today, let's see what all trade setups we can put forward according to our pivot line and the three support and resistance. So I'll start with the levels first. So Nifty's pivot point lies at 26,100 for the day. So we are using classic method to calculate the pivot line and the support and resistance along with that. So support one, if I start, support one lies at 26,000. This is support one, it is 26,010, but I rounded it off to 26,000. And support two lies at 25,970. 5,970. So we have a very close range for the day. So we won't be having these two different supports. So we will consider only S1 and S3 for the level. But anyway, we will mark it over here. And support 3 lies at 900, exactly at 900. 25,900 is where the support 3 lies. So R1 with respect to that lies at 26,150. Only 50 points gap with respect to our pivot line. 26,150 is where our resistance 1 comes, and R2 comes at 50. No, not 50. 26,230. And R3 lies at 26,300 we can mark. So it is exactly at 26,290 level. So I rounded it off to 26,300. So these are the three levels for Nifty for the particular day with respect to our pivot line. We have plotted three. So we will solve this out quickly only in Nifty. So if we say the bullish zone always lies between 26,220, which is our resistance 2, and resistance 3 to 26,300. We can mark this that way. So you have a shorter range. You can clearly see that. The consolidation zone, like let's say that it will be between the first support 26,000 and to the R1 26,150. This will be also a shorter range compared to the other days. And on the bear side, if we see, it will be below our support one, which is 26,000, and support two is at 25,970. Yeah. So you have a very shorter range. I find it a very less chance to come towards, so a closer range between S1 and S2. So we will consider S3 as a trading opportunity if we get a proper breakdown. So we won't consider S2 for today to 25,900. So exact same value can be considered for the day when we go bearish. So with respect to the pivot line, we will mark it over here. We will find if 26,100 is our pivot line. So it is trading below. Now the spot actually closed below the pivot line. So R1 will be at 26,150. We will mark that as well. So these are the zones and level for Nifty 50 with respect to the pivot point using which we calculated using the classic method, and here you can see that it is trading below this particular pivot line level for the day, and we will wait for the pre-market results to come, and we will plot it back again, and we will come back to this 50 again. So now we will move on to the bank nifty, and we will mark the levels for this day. So if you see Bank Nifty, the opportunities with respect to pivot line was less on the last Friday. And if you see that support, this is support one for the Bank Nifty. This was our support one for the day. If you see, on Friday we plotted 59,170 as a support one. So with respect to the support one, we had a bearish stance, and if you see support two lies at 58,990, and if you see that 990 we have easily got here at first, and if we see column 850 was our third support, and if you can clearly see that we got all three support levels to be tested by Bank Nifty. And on a bearish side, if you see that's a very good opportunity, even if you trail your stop loss and all onto the downside, you can clearly see that support 2 and 3 were already tested for the day. So with respect to the closing, high and low, we will plot pivot points for Bank Nifty for this particular day. So Bank Nifty pivot point lies at 58,980. This is where the pivot point lies, and with respect to this, if we plot, support 1 lies at 58,710, and support 2 lies at 58,570. 58,570, and support 3 lies at 58,300. 58,300. So these are the three support zones, and with respect to the resistance part, 59,130, 59,130 will be your resistance one, and R2 will be at 59,390. 59,390, and R3 lies at 59,540. So these are the zones for Bank Nifty levels with respect to our pivot point. These are the levels. We will mark the pivot line over here and support 1 and 2. 58,980 is our pivot line for Bank Nifty, and support 1 lies at 58,710. And our R1 lies at 59,130. So it is similar to Nifty 50. It is trading below our pivot line for the day, and we will wait for the opening to happen. And after that, we will wait for the first 5 to 15 minutes for getting a proper range, and we can trade either breakout trades from this particular pivot line if it is anywhere near to that, and we can trade a breakout or a breakdown trade, or else like yesterday in Bank Nifty we saw that it opened near to our support one. If it's something like that, you can either trade a reversal from here, or you wait for that particular breakdown to happen, and you can plan a trade from this point to the second support and support 3 if it is on a bearish sentiments. So we will wait for that, and we will move on to Sensex for now. So Sensex just exactly mirrored Nifty. So you can see here that it started near to our pivot line and it reached our support one level. If you see, you can clearly see that it started near to our pivot line, and it gave a movement to our support one, which was at 80. 5 230. 290 was our level. It closed near to 230 if you see. So for the day Sensex, if we mark Sensex pivot point lies at 85,350. Pivot point lies at 85,350 is where the Sensex pivot line comes, and with respect to that, support one lies at 85,080 is where the support one comes, and support two comes at 84,920 we can mark, and support three lies at 84,650 I'll mark. So these are the three supports, and when it comes to the resistance, 85,500 we can mark. 85,500 we can exactly mark the resistance 1, and R2 lies at 85,770 and R3 at 85,920 we can mark. So these are the support and resistance zones with respect to our pivot line for the day. So we will mark off the pivot line and we will plot a plan to 85,350 is where our pivot line comes. So resistance 1 is at 85,500 is where the resistance comes. R1. And with respect to support, it is 85,080, 85,080 near to almost 85,100. So these are the three one R1 resistance 1 and support 1 with respect to the pivot points. So here you can see it is exactly mirroring Nifty. It is trading below the pivot line for which we have plotted for the day. So you either wait for this, and we can plan a trade from this particular level to down to the support 1 and followed by the support 2 and support 3 if it is on a bearish sentiments, and if it is sustaining or reclaiming this level which 85,350, then we can plan for a bullish reversal from this level. So from this pivot point we can plan a bullish trade. So we will get back to Nifty once again. We will see, we will wait for the pre-market to open and we will see how GIFT Nifty is trading, GIFT Nifty live. So if we see -5, but still it is kind of 26,185. It was positive. It opened at 198. Previous close is 190, but still an indecision is there. We'll have a quick look at FIA's data as well. So it came back to the previous pattern which FIA and DA was holding. So if you see on Friday, we saw that both of them were positive on the cash market, and if you see now, nearly FIA turned off nearly 1,300 crores from the cash market, and similarly DA added 1,800. So if we see on a quick look at the FIA's sensible FNO data, FIA's FNO data, if you see, FNO data is showing net bearish and the quantity is kind of the chart showing is pretty high. So we will see after the opening. We will wait for the first 15 minutes to pass, and only after that then we can decide a trade pattern. If anywhere, so like similar to I explained on Sensex, if this level is being retested, then only we can plan a bullish trading setup for this day. So if it is starting or closing anywhere, starting anywhere near to this pivot line, then and it is coming down, we can plan for a bearish trade to this particular levels and ultimately to our support 3 levels. So these are the liquidity zone which I have already marked. This one is a smaller one with respect to the 5 minutes time frame which I have drawn, and this one is both these are of 15 minutes liquidity zone. So we can plan a trade to the downside if it is opening below this pivot line level and it is gradually going downwards. We can validate that with the volume as well. So if you see on a daily time frame, if you see on the RSI part, so it again reversed from this 68 level. So we will wait for this. You can change it to 15-minute while you are trading. So if you change it, it is on oversold zone on 15-minute. It's previous day's close also, but from 68 it reversed on a 1 day time frame, and it is trading below our pivot line, which is at 26,100. So we will wait for this particular entry to happen on this with respect to this level. So anywhere below this, if it is opening, then we can plan a trade from this pivot line 11 as a reversal. From this reversal we can plan to the downside, and if it is claiming this pivot line and sustaining above this level, then only we can go for a bearish moving bearish, not bullish move, bullish move or bullish trade in the market. So last time I have explained about Titan. So Titan came back to its breakout line. If you see, so it came back to its particular breakout level. If you see on Titan, it gave a rectangular pattern breakout, multi-month, multi-year breakout. If you see that, had a previous high in January. So let's change it to 1 day. So if you see that it came back to that breakout level, and I expect a positive movement, at least 5% movement I expect on this. But you can do it if you want to do an intraday trade or a weekly or a monthly swing, you can go for this with the minimum risk of, if you are aiming for a 5% or a 6% move, then definitely your result should be like 2 to 3% maximum, not more than that. And I find it this a good level breaking and a multi-month breakout we have in Titan. So I guess the pre-market opening came in Nifty. So it is opening above our pivot line for the day. If you can see clearly, 26,122 is opening here. So we will, so on this stage we will properly wait for if it to go on bullish side. We will wait if it is sustaining above this pivot line level, then definitely we can go for the bullish side trades. But if it is breaking below this level and sustaining closing below this level, then definitely we can go for the bearish side trades with respect to this support 1, 2 and 3 over here. So it depends on you can validate all this movement and breakout and or break out or breakdown with respect to the volume for a proper validation to whichever trade or whichever directional trade you are taking. So you just initially wait for this level. So on a 15-minute, I have previously also discussed with this level breaking thing. So you can either mark this particular 15-minute level, the first 15-minute level breakout trades. You can mark this level and wait for the breakout entry to take, or if it is anywhere near, so let's say that this resistance level is near to our particular pivot line, then you can plan a reversal trade from here with respect to the volume as a confirmation to this range. So here if you see that we have only a shorter range, 170 to 20, almost 70, 75. It is a pretty good range. You can trade a range bound trade as well. You can plan a trade with respect to the uh, resistance part of this 15-minute range. If it is anywhere near to our pivot line, then definitely we can go for that trade setup for this day. So I still suggest that we should wait for the first initial minutes to validate, to get a proper confirmation on the direction, and you can validate this opening and its direction with respect to the volume in the market. So if the volume is pretty high, and you can validate the direction of market, and you can put out the trade into Nifty. So that's all for today, guys. I wish everyone a good day for the day, and properly you guys should manage your properly. You guys should manage the risks as it is. We have so what I'm exactly saying is that we have multiple rejection happening from the 26,000 level. Either way, it's sustained above the 26,000 level, but we exactly so it was nearly close to our all-time high. All-time high is 26,277 was our all-time high, and again we got a rejection from this level, and we had multiple rejection from 100 level as well and 26,000 level as well. So let's be cautious here, and we will wait for the proper breakout or a breakdown with respect to this level to take an entry on a directional basis. So we will patiently wait to properly manage and calculate your load size and everything with according to your risk appetite. So that's all for today, and thank you so much, guys. I wish everyone a good day. Thank you. Okay, good morning, शरद चंद्र भाई. पेमेंट नहीं हो रहा है. Can you explain the pivot lines, please? टेलीग्राम ग्रुप ज्वाइन का पेमेंट नहीं हो रहा है. कबीर सिंह भाई, हमारा एक नंबर है, आई शेयर इट विथ यू. Kabir, brother, can you please message in this number anything regarding Telegram or Telegram payment and anything? You can message over here with in this number. And can you explain the pivot lines? Yes, definitely. So pivot line we are calculating on the basis of yesterday's previous days high, low, and close value. So let's say that high plus low plus close divided by whole divided by so all these divided by 3. This is how we get the pivot line. This is classic method to plot the pivot line. So another, if you say pivot line indicators are also available. So but we used a classic method. So with respect to indicator, if you see the resistance comes R3, R1 all comes in different zones. If you can clearly see that, but I use a classic method with a proper calculation of high, low, and closing of the previous day. This is what exactly I do with respect to the pivot line part. So to find R1, R2 and R3 or the three supports, we use another formula into this after calculating the pivot point exactly. So that's what we do, and sometime we will explain that as well when we have a proper session, a separate webinar for all these things. So I have a pretty good idea on a raise breakout trading setup also. Someday I will just announce it on YouTube, and we can do that. And on that day, I would really love to explain you about all this pivot line calculations and all. I hope that's done for the day, and here the opening happened, and from the start itself it is having a bearish tone, but properly let's wait for this to settle down. Even if it is coming below anywhere, and if it is closing below this pivot line, then we can plan for a bearish side. But as long as it is staying above this pivot line and closing above this, then with respect to the volume, we can validate that bullish movement and then take an entry. So that's what we can do now. As of now, just wait, because the first initial 2-3 minutes, the selling, buying, and existing orders and everything get triggered, and you know that institutional traders are also very kind of active this time. That's why we will wait for that initial time to mark to the for settling the market, then we will wait and we will take a proper entry with respect to your pivot line, or either you can mark the first 15-minute range breakout or breakdown. We can validate it with our volume on both the volume on the side, then we can take out a trade. So thank you once again. I'll wind up for the day. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. So I hope Kabir, brother, you can message in this number, you can clear out, and they will be providing you the payment link, and you can properly have access to our Telegram channel. And thank you guys, thank you everyone.